Hi and welcome to the final preview video for Juken Alpha Block Set 1, the new challenges. Next week the Kickstarter is launched, but today let's focus on Taichi, starting with his Opportunistic Form 1. Our final card for this set is Yellow's Opportunistic Form 1. We've seen Red shuffle attacks back into the arsenal, we've seen Blue heal the exhaust. This is how Yellow gets cards back. As an act effect, you can discard a tactic card to target any level 1 attack with an original hit effect in your exhaust, then pay its cost and perform it. However, when it resolves, if it would be sent to your key pool, it is sent back to your exhaust instead. The purpose of Opportunistic Form 1 is to both reuse hit effects and try to get cards that can become debuffs to stick. The hit effect by itself might be worth the overall -1 key, but the real strength lies in those debuffs. If they hit, they don't go to the key pool anyway, so you don't lose anything. They just become a debuff and they've done their job. The tactic cost is also transformative itself, figuratively. Maybe the condition is a little too hard to meet, or in the case of the signature tactics from the new challenges, getting the debuffs back is worth more than the draw 1. The tactic becomes an attack, more or less. You aren't stuck with a dead card. Later on, as the card pool expands, you might not even want to set tactic cards because the out in Opportunistic Form 1 is just a much better option for your game plan. Opportunistic Form 1 is a very versatile card with a very bright future. The final card in the Unwavering cycle, Unwavering Determination, allows you to choose what it is. With the same base effect as the other Unwavering cards, Breaker, prevent the next 3 combat damage your opponent's current attack would inflict, and remove it from the game. Its actual effect is either grits raise your Hyper 2, or lower your opponent's Hyper 2. This choice is something of a running theme in Yellow as a whole. Help yourself or hinder your opponent. What you choose will be determined by the state of the board. If you can prevent your opponent from reaching max Hyper, that's the way to go. If they're still pretty far from it and they aren't raising their Hyper at blistering speeds, raise yours. This is part of why Yellow is a bit more advanced. You need to make the right call. A lot of things can depend on it. Our final preview overall is our final signature card, Taichi's Demon of the Wind. The tactics effect is the same as Lucy's The Most Excitable Girl. Set up or act, raise your Hyper 2. If you have the Demon of the Wind in play as a buff, draw 1. Taichi has a bit of a hard time gaining Hyper as it's largely reliant on how your opponent interacts with you. So a +2 Hyper on a card that cycles itself is actually better than it looks. Though there are definitely times where you will want to discard additional copies for Opportunistic Form 1 to keep secured attack momentum. Try to force the right debuff into play. Then the Demon of the Wind becomes a buff. As of now, the only way Yellow can get buffs is via signature cards. As a buff, the Demon of the Wind turns all of your level 1 attacks with an original hit effect into a microcosm of his Demon Wind / Hyper attack. When they are blocked by a block card, inflict effect damage to your opponent equal to the number of copies your opponent has of that card in their remove pile. Like Demon Wind /, it's not really much to start with, but it can really add up over time, especially in combination with other cards we'll see as the game grows. You can land your opponent in a similar situation to Demon Wind / itself. They could let it hit, take the damage, let you get the hit effect, maybe get a breaker effect themselves, but if they block, through effects and other sources of damage as a consequence of blocking, take around the same amount of damage anyway. Thanks for watching. This concludes the previous season for Juken Alpha Block Set 1 The New Challenges. Next week is a how to play video and we start the Kickstarter for Juken. During August, look to Awesome Card Games and Photo Games for additional spoilers. Links are in the description.